Alexander the Great remains one of the most studied figures in world history. In a little more than a decade, he transformed a small kingdom on the edge of the Greek world into one of the largest empires the ancient world had ever seen. His life connects the histories of Greece, Egypt, the Middle East, and parts of Asia, shaping cultural exchanges that lasted for centuries. Understanding Alexander helps explain how ideas, languages, and political systems moved across vast regions and influenced later civilizations. Alexander was born in 356 BCE in the Kingdom of Macedon in northern Greece. His father, King Philip II, was a powerful military leader who strengthened Macedon and brought many Greek city-states under his influence. His mother, Olympias, came from Epirus and was known for her strong personality and religious devotion. Alexander grew up in a royal court where politics, diplomacy, and warfare were part of daily life. From an early age, he was aware that he was expected to rule and to continue his father's ambitions. As a child, Alexander showed signs of confidence and determination. Ancient sources describe him as curious and eager to learn, but also competitive and proud. One well-known story tells of how he tamed a wild horse named Bucephalus by noticing it was frightened of its own shadow. Whether fully accurate or partly symbolic, this story reflects how later generations viewed his ability to understand problems and act decisively. By his teenage years, Alexander was already taking part in military and political matters. A key influence on Alexander's development was his education. King Philip arranged for the philosopher Aristotle to tutor his son. Under Aristotle's guidance, Alexander studied philosophy, science, medicine, and literature. He developed a deep appreciation for Greek culture, especially the works of Homer. The epic poems of the Iliad and the Odyssey shaped his ideas about heroism, leadership, and honor. At the same time, his education trained him to think critically and to observe the natural world, skills that later supported his role as a commander and ruler. Alexander also gained practical experience early. While Philip was away on campaign, Alexander was left in charge of Macedon on more than one occasion. At the age of 16, he helped suppress a rebellion in Thrace and founded a city named Alexandropolis. 2 years later, he fought alongside his father at the Battle of Charanoa, where Macedon defeated a coalition of Greek city-states. This victory confirmed Macedon's dominance in Greece and gave Alexander first-hand experience of large-scale warfare. In 336 BCE, Philip II was assassinated, and Alexander became king at the age of 20. His position was not secure at first. Several Greek cities and neighboring regions questioned his authority. Alexander responded quickly, securing loyalty within Macedon and reasserting control over Greece. He destroyed the city of Thebes after it rebelled, sending a clear message about his determination to maintain order. With his rule stabilized, he turned his attention to a long-planned campaign against the Persian Empire. Alexander crossed into Asia Minor in 334 BCE, beginning a series of campaigns that would define his legacy. He won early victories against Persian forces, including at the Battle of the Granicus River and later at Issus. These successes opened the way into the heart of the Persian territories. Alexander combined bold tactics with careful planning, often leading his troops personally and adapting to different terrains and enemies. His leadership earned him loyalty from his soldiers, even as the campaigns grew longer and more demanding. One of Alexander's major achievements was the defeat of the Persian king Darius III. After several encounters, the decisive battle came at Gaugamela in 331 BCE. Despite being outnumbered, Alexander's forces achieved a clear victory. This battle effectively ended Persian control over much of the Near East.
Alexander then took key cities, including Babylon, Susa, and Persepolis, gaining immense wealth and administrative control. Rather than simply destroying the existing systems, he often kept local officials in place, blending Macedonian and Persian practices. Alexander continued eastward into Central Asia, facing difficult geography and local resistance. These years tested both his army and his leadership. He founded many cities, several named Alexandria, which became centers of Greek culture and administration. His policy of encouraging marriages between his officers and local women, as well as adopting some Persian customs, reflected his vision of a unified empire. However, these choices also caused tension among his Macedonian followers, who feared the loss of their traditional identity. The campaign eventually reached the Indian subcontinent. After defeating King Porus at the Battle of the Hydaspes River, Alexander planned to continue east. However, his troops, exhausted after years of fighting, refused to go further. Recognizing their limits, Alexander agreed to turn back. The return journey was harsh, particularly the crossing of the Gedrosian Desert, where many lives were lost due to heat and lack of supplies. This period marked a turning point, showing the human cost of constant expansion. In his final years, Alexander focused on governing his vast empire. He worked to organize administration, plan new cities, and strengthen trade routes. He also continued to promote cultural exchange between Greek and local traditions. In 323 BCE, while in Babylon, Alexander fell ill and died at the age of 32. The exact cause of his death remains uncertain, with theories ranging from natural illness to other factors. His sudden death left no clear adult heir, creating uncertainty about the future of his empire. After Alexander's death, his generals, known as the Diadochi, divided the empire among themselves. Although the empire did not remain united, the cultural impact of Alexander's conquests endured. The spread of Greek language and culture across the eastern Mediterranean and Asia gave rise to the Hellenistic world. In these regions, Greek ideas blended with local traditions, influencing art, science, philosophy, and governance for centuries. Alexander's legacy is complex. He's remembered as a brilliant military commander, a visionary ruler, and a figure who connected diverse parts of the ancient world. At the same time, his campaigns brought destruction and instability to many regions. Historians continue to debate his motivations and character, weighing ambition against achievement. What remains clear is that his actions reshaped the ancient world in lasting ways. Today, Alexander the Great is studied not only for his conquests, but also for the cultural changes that followed. His life raises questions about leadership, power, and the consequences of expansion. By examining his story with care and balance, we gain insight into how individual lives can influence history on a global scale. Exploring such figures helps us better understand the past and encourages thoughtful reflection on the forces that continue to shape our world.